good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.
Here's a question. Have you ever been prescribed a medication? Most likely, yes. Well, what about this question? Did you understand how it worked? The way your medication works in your body shouldn't be a mystery. Learn how Vyvgart, Efgartigimod Alpha FCAB works by visiting vyvgart.com/MOA. That's VYVGART.com/MOA. Brought to you by argenx.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
You're listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jim Basquill.
And ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit Progressive.com.
Half-hour headlines on Sports Center all night.
Again, our top stories. Cody Bellinger hits 3 home runs against his former team. Cubs were blasted by Bellinger and the Yankees, and Cody almost hit a 4th. Cedar Rafaela's walk-off home run lifts the Red Sox past the Rays for their 8th straight win. Cal Raleigh, 2 more, now up to 38 before the break. Shohei hits McCovey Cove on the fly, but San Francisco gets offensive against L.A. to hold on. And it's 1 versus 2. Jannik Sinner versus Carlos Alcaraz for the men's title at Wimbledon.
Because he's got a very strong lower base, so he can stay on balance to still get off a quality look.
Here he is on the break, got the pass, and 1. Cooper Flagg with his 3rd field goal.
And Mark Jones, ESPN. Cooper Flagg's Summer League debut came Thursday, played 32 minutes, scored 10 points on 5 of 21 from the floor, had 6 boards along the way. What stood out for Tim Legler?
I don't know that I've seen a guy picked in the top 5 that played all but 3 minutes of the first half. Every time I looked up, Cooper Flagg was either on the floor or going out for basically getting a quick drink, and he was back in the game. I was very surprised by that. Now, I don't know what that means going forward. I'm not sure what the plan is for Cooper Flagg and if they've come up with one with how much they want to use him here. I know he wants to have a better offensive performance than he had tonight, but that's a lot of usage, particularly when he was handling the ball up the floor the entire game against a lot of pressure. It's exhausting. So I think stamina also played a part in this. He looked a little bit fatigued, as you would expect. He hasn't played really a meaningful game since April, I believe.
He's plenty young. He can handle it, right, Tim McMahon?
It was far from flawless, but it was fun. I mean, Cooper Flagg said it might have been one of the worst games he's ever played. Obviously, he's thinking about that shooting line. Didn't shoot the ball well at all, but he did a lot of other things. You saw the athleticism, 6'8", 220, athletic, aggressive, pushing the ball in transition. I mean, zooming past cars on the highway for the dunk, making the right plays. And he made the biggest play of the game. It came down to it, last minute, 1-possession game, swoops in, swats away the layup, boom, he's out in transition, doesn't force it, makes a great read, hits Ryan Nembhard for a wide-open 3. And that's what Cooper Flagg does. He finds a way to win. He impacts the game in a lot of different ways, and certainly that's what he did in the Summer League opener.
Udonis Haslam on what's important for his development this summer league.
When I look at a situation like Cooper Flagg, I look at what he's able to do on the basketball court, and I say, you don't want to look at his numbers. You don't want to, per se, look at the stat sheet at the end of the night. You want to look at how comfortable he is. You want to put him in different situations. You want to maximize his minutes when he's on the court. You want to make sure he's comfortable. You want to see what he's not comfortable doing. You want to get in that film room. You want to work on those weaknesses. So, for me, this is like a trial for Cooper Flagg to see what he maximizes and what his strengths are.
Meantime, Miles Turner, formally introduced by the Bucks on Friday after spending the entirety of his 10-year NBA career with the Indiana Pacers, who went to the NBA Finals this past season, lost in 7 to Oklahoma City. The news around the Bucks these days, though, revolves around Giannis, who has said publicly expects to be back in Milwaukee next season.
There is no Giannis Antetokounmpo trade market. There is no Giannis Antetokounmpo trade discussions.
If you get a really nice trade offer, how do you sort of middle this situation without kind of alienating a player who kind of does business the right way?
Yeah, so Giannis says I'll probably be back in Milwaukee next season. Wasn't ironclad, Brian Windhorst.
We'll see is the basis of why a bunch of teams are considering holding their assets to try to make a trade for Giannis sometime in the foreseeable future. We'll see is enough in the NBA. The value of a superstar player is so high, and the impact that one franchise-changing player can make is so great that a player simply saying we'll see, whether it's on a stream or it's behind the scenes at a party or to another player on a court, we'll see has gotten teams to tear up future plans and to plan years in advance and to hoard cap space and picks. I've seen it happen. So while on one hand, it's not Giannis saying he wants to do anything but be in Milwaukee, it does explain why teams are keeping a very close eye on the situation. And I would say that Giannis provided no clarity on his future with those remarks. And no clarity is what's been driving the speculation around Giannis.
ESPN NBA front office insider Bobby Marks on what he expects.
I just look at what Milwaukee was able to do this offseason. They've gone full steam ahead of building this roster around Giannis. You don't go out and waive Damian Lillard and take a $23 million cap hit, or go sign Miles Turner and bring back some of the players, Bobby Portis and Gary Trent, and sign Gary Harris here to think that they're going to potentially lose Giannis here. You go full steam ahead to try to build a roster around him, and if we get to the point he goes into the front office and says, I want out, we'll address that later. But I'm looking at it that Giannis is going to be on this roster when the season starts.
Yeah, outside of Dame, the Bucks brought back all their guys and then some. Miles Turner, $107 they paid up for him. Ian Fitzsimmons on where he expects Giannis, not only him, but the Joker, Nikola Jokic, to play next season.
Especially when it comes to Euro players, when they find a home away from home, that's home, man. Like, look at Dirk. Dirk never, ever even tested the free agent waters in a 2-decade-plus career in Dallas. Could he have been the highest-paid player in the NBA 2 times over? 100%. Did you see him doing a bunch of endorsements here in America? No. Why? He was all about Dallas and the Mavericks and in Germany. That was it. That was his 3 things. Dirk was never going to leave Dallas. Why? Because it was his new home. Everyone's talking about Jokic, right? Of course he turned down the deal that was offered, and ownership said they expected him to turn it down. Why? Because he has $70 more million on the table next year. Jokic ain't leaving Denver. Why? It's home. In Milwaukee to Giannis, that is home to him. There is little doubt in my mind that Giannis is not going anywhere.
Yeah, Luka, he wouldn't have left Dallas either, but they pushed him right on out the door. We mentioned the Thunder. They won in 7 and champs for the first time. They just paid $822 million to their big 3 stars to stay long term. Freddie Coleman and Harry Douglas on if repeating as champs is tougher for OKC or the NFL's Philadelphia Eagles.
It will be harder, in my opinion, for OKC.
Really?
Because of the parity in the NBA.
Okay.
And you look at how much harder the Western Conference has gotten.
Okay.
You look at Kevin Durant going to the Houston Rockets. You look at what the Denver Nuggets were able to do and now providing a bench for Nikola Jokic, the same Denver Nuggets that took OKC to 7 games in the second round of the playoffs this season. You look at the Clippers. They're not going to go anywhere. Dallas, if you can get Kyrie Irving back and he's being himself, yeah, it's not going to be easy for OKC.
Here's why I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles, although I was still on the fence before I had to make a decision. it's so hard to stay healthy in back-to-back years relatively in the NFL. It is the most taxing sport.
Point.
It is the most taxing sport no matter what position you play, whether it's offense, defense, quarterback, especially the way that they play. They are brutal, they are cruel, they are efficient, and they are physical. And you wonder by playing a lot of football how much that could potentially take a toll. Because now, again, you're getting everybody else's best shot.
Yeah, let's keep it with the National Football League. As the Bears and GM Ryan Poles have agreed to a contract extension through the 2029 season. Chicago coming off a last place finish in the NFC North. They are 15-36 in 3 seasons under Poles and have 2 double-digit losing streaks during his tenure. Damian Woody, Tim Hasselbeck on the deal.
Part of it is just like you do with players. Sometimes being ahead of it is the plan. And so if the expectation is that the Chicago Bears are going to be good, then go ahead and get the deal done sooner rather than later, because if you see improvement, if you anticipate improvement, then you can see how it would make sense to have your GM and the leadership of your organization locked up.
I hate to, sound this way about my fellow BC brethren right here. But I like it pulled a little bit too early on this one right here. Like, to me, the easiest part was getting Ben Johnson aboard. When you have the number 1 pick in Caleb Williams, that was the easy sale. Now, the hard part is actually going out and winning football games. You've acquired all this talent, but ultimately you got to win the games on the field, and that's something that we haven't seen the Chicago Bears do yet. So I feel like they pulled the trigger a little bit too early on that.
Yeah, I mentioned the record, 15-36 under Poles in his 3 seasons there. Perhaps a little premature. Chris Canty is getting a run for his money as NFL hot taker here at ESPN Radio by Mike Tannenbaum. The duo at opposite sides of Canty's take that the Panthers will be second to none in the NFC South.
Big time boom team, the Carolina Panthers.
Ooh.
Big time boom team. I love what the Carolina Panthers are trying to do around Bryce Young. Big time boom team. Wouldn't be surprised if the Carolina Panthers contend for the NFC South title. We're talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning that division 4 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, you don't win your division 4 years in a row, 5 years in a row. So, yeah, if you're asking me to put money on it today, the Carolina Panthers will win the NFC South.
It's almost inconceivable that they win the division. Look, I think Tampa Bay doesn't get enough credit for consecutive division titles, and the way Baker Mayfield played last year, he outplayed someone like Matthew Stafford, and their defense was average, but I think their defense will be better this year, and I think Tampa Bay is actually a contender for the Super Bowl. I think Carolina's very much a work in progress. Bryce Young played better as a sophomore than as a rookie, and I think he'll continue to play better, but I think there's a big gap between those teams.
Sports Center, 50 states in 50 days.
We going coast to coast. We going coast to coast.
On ESPN Radio.
Yeah, 50 states, 50 days. The Sports Center road trip hits the state of Kansas. Now, Kansas City sits on Missouri's western edge, straddling the border with Kansas. I mention that because that's where Hall of Fame guard Will Shields played. He also was born, though, in Fort Riley, Kansas, after playing the entirety of his 14-year career with the Chiefs. Currently living in Kansas. He was drafted in the 3rd round of the 93 draft by the Chiefs. By week 2 of his rookie season, he was a starting right guard and started every game from that point through his retirement in the 2006 season. Never missed a game during his 14-season career, earned 12 straight Pro Bowl berths, was part of the NFL's all-decade team of the 2000s, and elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2015. The Hall of Famer joined Game Night.
Will, I don't know how many people know this, but you were born in Kansas, only spent a couple of years there in your youth because your family moved around. You were born on a military base. So let's just start there. What was it like growing up with a military family?
It was really cool. I mean, the good thing about it is that, my dad did get to give us an opportunity to move a little bit. He didn't take us on tour overseas like a lot of dads had. He did the tours on his own, but I did get a chance to enjoy a little time in Kansas and the rest of my life in Lawton, Oklahoma, Fort Sill.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So a lot of time there spent in the Midwest, and of course, lots of time, as Gabe mentioned, spent in Kansas City. Now, speaking of that, I'm sure that you still kind of follow what's going on there. A lot of discussion in KC about the future of the Chiefs potentially hopping over the border to Kansas, and kind of putting aside, of course, the politics of it. What would it mean to you to see the Chiefs leave such an iconic stadium and make that kind of move from Missouri to Kansas if it happens?
Well, that's always one of those things that's really close to your heart because, I spent 14 years there. That's where I started. And, you always have that one place that you played in that you go, hey, I remember when I was here, when I did this and I did that. Plus, if they move, that means they're going to move my picture off the stadium, and I don't know if I can find myself after that.
Well, maybe you could collect it. You could put that up in your. I mean, obviously it's going to be pretty big. I don't know where you would put it, but maybe if it happens, Will, you could just take that into your own home.
It won't. I mean, it's a full gate, so I don't have a chance to move it anywhere. And plus, I actually did an event with one of my teammates, and I've already got a picture that's big enough as it is, and I don't think my wife will let me bring it home.
How about that? Never miss the game for injury. Another future Chiefs Hall of Famers, tight end Travis Kelce. Mike Tannenbaum and Harry Douglas on what KC needs from Kelce this coming campaign.
Just be reliable and clutch when they ask him to be. And that's because of Rashee Rice. When you look at last season in 2024, before Rashee Rice got hurt, between weeks 1 and 3, he led the NFL with 24 receptions. Rashee Rice became Patrick Mahomes' number 1 target. So that transition was already happening for the Kansas City Chiefs last year early on. You also look at Hollywood Brown now coming back, and hopefully he can start the beginning of the season. Xavier Worthy had a phenomenal rookie season. He's going into his second year. You have so many components and so many guys who can contribute and help out this offense now that you don't have to rely on Travis Kelce to be your number 1 every single game. He just has to be reliable in certain moments and be clutch when they ask him to be.
What they need with Travis Kelce, and I've had this conversation with aging players, is, look, we are on the same side of the table. You could help us win a championship because your 15, 20 plays a game may be the most meaningful third down red zone, and you're going to be pissed and frustrated in September and October, but you'll be rewarded in December and January because you'll be fresh for the playoffs.
And tomorrow brings the state of New Jersey, known, of course, for its diners. Coming up next tonight, in the W, had Caitlin Clark and the Fever pumping up the offense. We look ahead at the women's final at Wimbledon, and the night's top sounds are ready to be heard. That's next. You're listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio.
Monday on ESPN Radio.
Sends a rocket, and he vaporized that baseball.
The 2025 T-Mobile Home Run Derby.
Home run! Second deck! Bang! Oh!
Coverage begins Monday at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. More Sports Center all night. Coming up next.
Just like in sports, businesses succeed when you add the right free agent. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent.
Which teams are making moves and which teams need to just flat out move? Your Saturday means I'm locked in and ready for First Take right here, Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Today on ESPN Radio, it's an Interleague showdown at Yankee Stadium.
A home run for Aaron Judge.
Saturday is game day. The NL Central leading Chicago Cubs head to the Bronx to face Aaron Judge and the New York Yankees.
Gone!
Saturday is game day.
Coverage begins today at 12:30 Eastern with first pitch at 1:05 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Progressive Insurance.
The Championships Wimbledon return to ESPN. Novak Djokovic pursues a record-setting 25th Grand Slam title, while Carlos Alcaraz seeks a 3rd straight Wimbledon win. Live from London. Quiet, please.
Take me out!
It's Wimbledon. First ball to last ball coverage. Now playing through July 13th on the networks of ESPN. Additional coverage on ESPN+. Coverage presented by Barclays.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The best day ever is a boat day. Regardless of the body of water, boat day is always the best day. When you're on a boat, on a lake, the music is going. You've brought snacks in the cooler. You've got your beer or whatever your beverage is in a koozie. You're jumping in and out on floaties. Maybe you're tubing. Maybe you're skiing. There's more activity and more fun when it comes to lake life.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
I'm Kiana, and I leveled up.
Hi, I'm Dorina, co-founder of OpenPhone. My dad is a business owner, and growing up, he always kept his ringtone super loud, so he'd never miss a customer call. OpenPhone gives your team business phone numbers to call and text, all in one shared workspace. And our AI agent answers 24/7, so you never miss a customer. Over 60,000 businesses use OpenPhone. Get 20% off at openphone.com/ESPN. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
You're listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jim Basquill.
Yeah, we're back on Sports Center all night with a night in the W.
Clark, the hesitation, draws the foul, lays it in, and one, Caitlin Clark.
Handling a little bit of a bump here and playing through, keeping her focus on the finish. Another and one opportunity for Clark.
As heard on Ion, Caitlin Clark had a dozen with 9 assists. There was plenty to go around for the Fever. Kelsey Mitchell, 25. Aaliyah Boston, 19. They used a 59-point second half to beat the Atlanta Dream 99-82. Seattle, meantime, had 4 hit for double figures, led by Gabby Williams, 18, in a 79-65 win over Connecticut. The Sun are 3-17, 1-10 on the road. Summer League.
But he's barely touched the ball here in the first half of this game.
And Bray showing that he's got his driver's license, 2 legs. Drove it to the bucket for the and one.
That's Kobe Bray, the former Kentucky Wildcat. The Suns, they cleaned up in the draft, right? Malawach, Fleming, Kobe Bray, Fleming and Bray, second rounders. Bray scored 19, 7 of 10 from the floor, 4 of 5 from beyond the arc as the Suns ripped the Wizards 103-84. I'm going to say right now they're going to have more wins than last year, I should say. Team that had Kevin Durant, 36 wins. They're going to have more than that this coming season. The night's top sounds, all about the bigs. Chris Smith has the details.
Sports Center all night.
Oh, my goodness. Check it out on Sports Center tonight.
Today's top sound.
How good is that? Are you ready to take?
Number 5.
All right, Jim, let's start out with a strange stat. The Yankees' Cody Bellinger became the first player to have a 3-home run game and also have a home run robbed in the same game since 2012. The call on the Cubs radio network.
And now the 1-1. Driven to deep right. Back goes Tucker to the right field fence. Leaping and making the catch. Tucker reached up as he jumped up, and it looked like the glove was very close to the top of the right field fence. Very nice play by Kyle, out number 1.
Number 4.
In a Lone Star State showdown, Wyatt Langford let the Astros know there's a new sheriff in town. The call on 105.3 The Fan.
And Gusto's pitch is drilled deep out into left field. Crawford boxes. Say hello. Home run, Wyatt Langford. What a shot. That got out in about 2 seconds. Wyatt blasts his 15th home run of the year, and now it's 7-3 in favor of the Rangers.
Number 3.
In the Motor City, Seattle's Cal Raleigh was the one clicking on all cylinders as he takes another step closer to Major League history. The call on Seattle Sports, 7:10 a.m.
Now the stretch, and the 2-2 on the way, swinging a well-hit ball deep to left field, and Grandma, get out the right bread and mustard. It is grand salami time. Cal Raleigh with his 3rd grand slam of the season puts this game away.
Number 2.
We head back to the Bronx, where Cubs fans were quoting Julia Roberts and Pretty Woman saying, "Big mistake, huge," as they watch the Yankees' Cody Bellinger face Chicago for the first time since being traded. The call on the Yes Network.
High fly ball at right field. Tucker back. He's on the track. So is the center fielder who leaps, and that ball is gone. It's a 2-run home run by Bellinger, his third home run of the night. Oh, what a night for Bellinger. It is 10-0 Yanks.
Number 1.
And on a day of long balls, this walk-off for Boston stole the show. The call on WEEI 93.7 FM.
Pitch is swung on and driven high and deep and gone! Walk-off homer! Say done! Say good night!
And the Rays were saying, say it ain't so. That's 8 straight for the Red Sox, who are playing their best ball of the season. On the heels of the upset of the top-ranked Arena Sabalenka, American Amanda Anisimova facing Iga Swiatek in the women's Wimbledon finals. It's today, ESPN, 11 a.m. Eastern. Swiatek has won 5 Grand Slam titles, but never been to the final at Wimbledon. The winner will be the 8th consecutive first-time Wimbledon women's champ. ESPN tennis host Chris McKendry joined Joe and Q on what she expects.
The women's tournament was full of upsets, and we really thought, oh my gosh, like who is going to be left standing, next weekend? This was as of last week. And here we are left with Iga Swiatek, who, number 1 in the world for more than a couple of years, just a year and a half or so ago. And she's never done well on the grass. She's been in a title drought, and lo and behold, she finds herself in the final. So she's a great story in and of itself, already has won 5 major tournaments. And then taking on Amanda Anisimova, a young American, also 23 years old, on a comeback trail. She took a sabbatical. She was a teen queen. She was the phenom at 16 and 17, getting to the French Open semifinal, and said, this is burnout, and this tour is too much for me, and she stepped away and openly discussed it. Her mental health needed the break, and now she's back and doing it on her own terms. Talk about a good story.
Yeah, that's a great story right there. Anisimova looking for her first Grand Slam title, said she didn't even expect to be this far here at Wimbledon. Meantime, the men's title match again. It's the top-ranked Jannik Sinner, number 2 Carlos Alcaraz, who seeks 3 straight at the All-England Club, and that comes on Sunday morning. Hey, tune in to baseball action today. It's the Yankees playing host to the Cubs. It's presented by Progressive Insurance. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. What does Cody Bellinger have in store for an encore? Again, Bellinger, 3 home runs versus the Cubs Friday, leads the Yanks 11-0 against his former team. Thanks for staying up all night. For producer Steve Risser and technical director Cam Berry, I'm Jim Basquill. The best of unsportsmanlike is next.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Monday with training camp just around the corner, I'll give you my winners and losers and which teams still have work to do in the NFL. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
I can't believe they're moving the team to another city.
True, but you'll never forget all the joy they brought into your life.
Joy? They made the playoffs twice in 50 years.
Gosh, those 2 times were pretty great, weren't they?
How would I know? I wasn't even born yet.
Just think of all the free time you'll have on game days.
Those games were the highlight of my week.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada? Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/streaming and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/streaming.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Here's a question. Have you ever been prescribed a medication? Most likely, yes. Well, what about this question? Did you understand how it worked? The way your medication works in your body shouldn't be a mystery. Learn how Vyvgart, Efgartigimod Alpha FCAB works by visiting Vyvgart.com/MOA. That's VYVGART.com/MOA. Brought to you by argenx.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.